Hello, hello, hello? Hello. Hello, everyone. I am back yet again for yet another day of severe weather. Day that might be very, very notable throughout the year. Of course, this might be a potential derecho that we are seeing, and I'm not using that lightly. We are aware that we have a moderate risk currently in effect. Let me just get rid of that severe thunderstorm watch. How do I get rid of it? Oh, right here. We are aware that we currently have a moderate risk in effect for all of these areas, including Rockford, Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Davenport, Maquoketa, Dubuque, Monroe, Janesville, Beloit, Harvard, Kenosha, Waukegan, Evanston, Chicago, Kankakee, Gary, Valparra, Godley, Pontiac, Streator, Galva, Princeton, Mendota, Ottawa, Morris, Peoria, Dixon, Alexis, Aledo, Galesburg, which is almost included in that, and Washington and Wapello. All these places are currently within a moderate risk for severe weather, which is mainly driven by the wind risk. Of course, we're not just talking about the moderate risk, we're talking about the slight risk and the enhanced risk, as well as both of these regions will be experiencing significant severe weather from this incident, and likely in the form of 80-mile-per-hour winds or more, and significant and possible tornadoes. Not significant tornadoes. We're not expecting strong tornadoes out of this, but possible tornadoes. Brief spin-up tornadoes that are very weak in nature. However, we are currently watching at the moment for this severe weather outbreak that is likely to ensue. This is what we're watching. 45% significant wind risk for these regions in Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Of course, we do have another risk too. We do have that tornado risk. That is currently 10% right now, and that is still notable compared to what we've seen in other derecho type setups. This is quite notable, and we won't underestimate a 10% tornado risk for sure. So hello everyone. Just looking at the models, we will. But first, let me just take a short break. So let's look at the models. Currently, what we are looking at right now is this system trying to get its act together in northwestern Iowa, southwestern Minnesota, and southeastern South Dakota. However, that will quickly change from a small system into a big system as we continue to move this through. Then you can see some cells begin to develop near the Des Moines area towards Ames and there towards Cedar Rapids and Waterloo. You can see a few storms begin to develop. These may have a tornadic threat, and just ensuring that, you can see we have plenty of CAPE in place for for possible tornadoes to develop, and strong winds as well. Strong winds in high cape environments is usually good for strong winds, and of course bad for the people that experience those strong winds. And you can see, where is all this cape going? Well, if you see those big holes where the cape is, that usually indicates that the storms are feeding off of that energy, and basically they are taking up all of that energy, gulping it for themselves, and sorry, weird terminology, and using it for themselves, and basically become prolific producers of damaging winds and some tornadoes. Of course, in this setup, we're seeing less tornadoes because of the supercell composite and the significant tornado parameter being a little less in this area. Of course, there is some, and that's probably what we're going to be seeing at the beginning. We're probably going to be seeing that most significant tornado risk at the beginning of this thread, where these storms are still isolated. However, as you see, when these storms upscale and turn into a large line as they move through eastern Iowa, then that indicates that the tornado risk will be lower, but the wind risk will increase. Basically because all of these storms, they're feeding off of the same energy. When they feed off of the same energy, they basically have difficulty spawning their own individual tornadoes or specific storms, because they don't have individual pieces of energy that they can use. So, anyways, besides that, you can see that this system continues to grow and grow as it continues to move into Illinois. And then you can see huge winds are likely to exist at this moment. You can see the vertical velocity is notable, and I'm looking at the wind gusts too. You can see some of these are gusting up to 65, 70, up to 75 knots, which is equivalent to 85 miles per hour, which is significant. That is definitely worthy of PDS severe thunderstorm warnings, so we might get a few of them as this continues to move deeper into Illinois. And you can see for downtown Chicago, we might see up to 70 mile per hour winds, which is still significant, and that will probably cause some damage. We will see some power outages from this storm, which will likely become a derecho. Now, as you see, the winds start to calm down as they move into Indiana. However, we still have this system currently in place around that area. It's just a little less strong than it used to be. This is only probably an MCS by now. This was an MCS to begin with. However, it probably won't meet that derecho criteria for much longer by this point. As you can see, the reflectivity goes down. However, we do get this another line firing up at around 1 a.m. Central Time down in central Illinois, and that might cause some strong winds as well. Let's take a look at the wind gusts with that. Of course, not too much with the storm, maybe gusting up to like 50, 60 mile per hour, which is still somewhat large, but it's not necessarily extreme. Definitely not. Even though we do get these storms in Kansas that meet the criteria for some pretty strong winds. So, that is basically what we're seeing today, and I do believe initially we are going to have an enhanced tornado threat with how much cape these are feeding off of, and the significant tornado parameter is definitely up there. The only problem is maybe the SRH. If you can get a storm over here, then that would be better for it, but currently we are expecting that the SRH won't be perfect for these storms. So, we'll have to see. But, of course, there is a tornado threat in any type of these setups. And we'll have to see. And, well, you look at that. We already have our first tornado warning. Well, no, this isn't our first tornado warning. It's the second tornado warning. But this is for New York. New York has had a few tornado warnings. Just one so far. And you can see the system is heading up towards Farmington and showcasing some rotation. Those greens and reds overlap. Sorry about that. Yeah, you can see there's some rotation on the northern side of this warning. It looks like it's trying to occlude, but there's still a little bit of rotation with it at the moment, so we'll still have to wait and see what the system does. Now, our storms over here in Iowa already exist. They're already starting to fire over here. You can see there's a few little supercells that are starting to get their act together and beginning to conglomerate, and this one almost has a hook on it. Not quite. It's a little different, but you can see maybe a small amount of rotation. It's not anything concerning at the moment. But these systems will definitely have some tornado potential. I do think a little more elevated than what the NSBC is depicting. Sorry about the background noise. And also, I know the last few times we got a 10 non-hatched, it was kind of like tornado outbreak criteria. But I don't know if that's going to happen this time. Maybe we'll have a tornado outbreak. However, that will be a bunch of weak tornadoes. No strong tornadoes included. Or very little, at least. Which is sort of good news, but I mean, still, tornadoes are possible. So that's still notable. And a bit concerning. Alright, so this rotation is directly over Hathaway Corners at the moment. It's crossing over New York Route 332 and approaching New York State Route 96. This is approaching Farmington, right near New York State Thruway, which is Interstate 90, and will eventually move up there towards State Route 21 near Palmyra. Let's see if there's a CC drop on this. That would indicate it would be on the ground. Kind of hard to tell. There might have been a brief tornado with this. Maybe that's fallout. But I'm unsure at the moment. It doesn't look like it. So I don't think there was ever a tornado with this thing. But it still could produce one at any moment. And hence why we have the tornado warning. I don't know where the radars went. Where did they go? Where did they go? I don't know. I lost my radars. Okay, there we go. I have no idea what happened. But yeah, we can see the first rumblings of this event as it starts over here near Iowa Falls, Vinton, Carroll, Denison, and Hampton. Anyways, going back to this tornado warning. There is where the tornado would be, right here. Even though it's a little harder to tell on this radar. Let's see where the closest radar is. This one. I mean, that is kind of weakening a little bit. It's right over Farmington at the moment, but it's not very strong. So, that is good news for Farmington. But just be aware in Farmington, there could be a tornado right in your area. Could be. Not saying there is. Let me just write something. Just had to alert people of that. Let me see if I can get some cameras on this. I found one. Let's see this. It's kind of rainy. Let me look. Here, let me show you. It's right here. And you can see a bit of a rainy picture over here. Not seeing much at the moment, but a few cars driving past. Not much. But we'll see if that remains the case. Do you have this camera? I don't know which traffic cam closer to the camera is traveling east, so this is looking west. And I don't know what that's doing. Is that rain? Those are some pretty strong winds from the looks of it. Or I think that's just rain. I don't know, that looks weird. That looks like stronger winds, but that the trees are not moving. Well, the trees are moving a little bit, so I guess this just has some strong winds in it. I mean, I can't estimate what those winds are, but I guess I can estimate. They're around, like, 40, maybe 50. Not severe thunderstorm worthy, but still some winds. At least from what it looks like. Okay, so I think we've had this tornado warning extended. No, we haven't. We have not. That rotation near Farmington is starting to go away, though, so I'm unsure whether they're going to keep the tornado warning or not. Just waiting to see the next scan. I mean, there's still some rotation now crossing Interstate 90. I know where that camera is. Let me see that. Let me see. This is looking west, so that's the problem. It would be helpful if it was looking east. I mean, I can't see anything. I don't necessarily think that's what we can say to make sure that nothing's on the ground. But you can see there is some rotation here. Even though now the warning no longer includes it. So, let me see if that's right. I don't think that's right. I think it's supposed to be in here somewhere. Near Canandaigua. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Canandaigua. There has been a few flash flood warnings issued behind these storms, probably because of all the rainfall they're producing. So that is interesting. Just be aware, you could get flooding conditions back here towards Darien, Attica, Batavia, Stafford, Leroy, West Bloomfield, Henrietta, Honeoye Falls, Livonia, Geneseo, Mount Morris, Leicester, York, and Caledonia. Anyways, let's check back at these storms. Oh yeah, we did have that 100-mile-per-hour gust in South Dakota. That was a few days ago, but you can see it over here. Oh, that is an interesting development. We have a tornado possible tag on the storm near Vinton. I don't see much rotation on it, but I don't know, maybe. And this one has been warned for golf ball size hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds, so it begins. This is the start of considerable winds. Because this is the first considerable wind-tagged storm that we have, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of those as we move on. This is near Denison, Iowa, and also includes Carroll, Iowa, Arcadia, Hallsborough, Vale, Templeton, and Breda. Still don't know why this has a tornado possible tag. I mean, Let me look at it. I really don't see anything. Maybe this? Don't know if this is anything. Be right back. Yeah, so... maybe over here now? I mean... just trying to find where this would be. Where this rotation would be. Is it here near Hopewell? It's pretty broad, I guess, but still some rotation. Yeah, I think it's this thing near Hopewell. So, Hopewell being your safe spot, that's probably a bit of rotation over there. No tornado on the ground, but still some rotation. Let's see if we can get any Iowa cameras. These are just picture cameras, but let me see. On that tornado possible tagged storm. Oh, we did get an extension to this. Still 70-mile-per-hour winds. The hail has been decreased. Probably means these are beginning to cluster a little bit. Still supercells at the moment, but they're trying to cluster with other storms, so maybe we'll get the Derecho potential soon. Don't know. Don't know. It's still extremely hard to see this. Yeah, that's the closest radar, and I'm not seeing much. So, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, we're still covering this event as it pursues. This is now warned for golf ball size hail, but it's not considerable for wind, only golf ball size hail. But we'll see a lot of those wind warnings in effect soon. Is this rotation? I don't think it is. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I don't know, maybe the threat for these to produce tornadoes isn't as high as I initially thought. Plus, also, I did just look at the HRRR model. So, actually, let's look at the NAM 3 kilometer. Let me just pull that up. Ah, accidentally opened Minecraft. So, on this, yeah, that definitely changes my perspective. You can see they form into a line right away on the NAM 3 kilometer. That is different. Originally, I was expecting them, like in the HRRR, to initially be discrete supercells, but no, it could also be... Yeah, this is some insane cape, I just gotta say, but it's summer, so it makes sense, but... These are just expected to congeal into a line right away, and those are some pretty strong winds. Let me see the wind gusts. Yeah, I mean, those are up to 70 knots, maybe 65 knots. That's around 75 miles per hour. And, I mean, those weaken quicker, But you can see there's still some up to 80 knots, which is 90 miles per hour. It doesn't go much farther than that, though. Yeah, so that is different on the NAM, I will say. Don't know why I had a southern accent there. But... Thank you for all the views, everyone. Appreciate it. But of course, it's hard to control views. I mean, people just come in and watch. Plus, there's no likes, but that's fine. I don't care. I'm just pointing it out. Anyways, you can still see some storms over here. Still interested in this one. It still has a tornado possible tag. I don't see it, but that does mean that you should be adjacent to your safe spot in that region. You should be close in Vinton, Urbana, Mount Auburn, Rowley, Brandon, LaPorte City. Let me see where the chasers are. Of course, we have no chasers we can look at. Yeah, some of them are in that area, so... What is this? This thing. I think that's just side lobe. Side lobe can occur when one of the radar beams goes too far into the sky, or if there's hail in the system. And let me see if there's any hail in the system. I don't know. Let me see. It's not in the right part of the storm. It's supposed to be, like, down here, the rotation, so... I don't think that's anything. That is interesting, though, near Iowa Falls. But I think it's gonna go away next scan. Yeah, it sort of did. So I don't think that's anything. Usually if it's side lobe, it goes away the next scan. Because I think, like, air... Like, when rain enters into the region of that side lobe contamination, it kind of shows reality. It morphs the image into reality. Wow. 5 people watching. I know that doesn't sound like much, but it's a lot for me. Not too much is going on right now. We're sort of just in the beginning stages of this event. We're still waiting. An event that this will be. Sorry about that. Let's look back at this tornado warning. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see what it is. They're probably gonna let this expire. It's just really hard to tell if this is rotating or not. Let's see on this. No, I mean, I don't see anything. So I don't know. I don't know how I just went down to 2 viewers and from 5 viewers. I don't know. I'm just analyzing myself too much. My channel, I meant too much. Don't care. Well, I care a little, but they're probably gonna let this tornado warning expire. I'm surprised they haven't yet. I'm not seeing anything with it. Still some 70-mile-per-hour winds possible with that storm near Carroll and Glidden, Dedham, Coon Rapids. Let's see if we can get a camera there near Coon Rapids. Right here, there's a camera. Still looking at the same camera. I mean, there's some rain. It's not much, but there's some rain. Wish they updated this more. Yeah, this is from 10 minutes ago. Let me see if I can refresh. I don't know, that camera might not be working well. Let me just go to this camera. It's not looking good. This is still the same camera. It's 20 minutes old, though. I don't know. Here, wait, let me see this. Yeah, this is 20 minutes old. These cameras take forever to update. Still just looking at radar, for the most part, to see if anything happens with these storms. It doesn't look like they're going to extend this, because they extended the severe thunderstorm warnings in front of it, which means that they're probably just going to extend it as a severe thunderstorm warning and not anything else. So that is good news. The tornado warning might be gone soon. We do also have some severe thunderstorm warnings in Canada. So that's something to know. Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada, is currently under severe thunderstorm warning. So if you live in Ottawa, just be aware. Just don't be in your safe spot. Just be indoors. Just be indoors. And stay away from any possible doors or windows near you. Or anything that could, like, attract lightning bolts or stuff as such. Still just that one tornado warning active. 27 severe thunderstorm warnings, though. I don't know where all those... I mean, there's just a bunch everywhere, really. 4 in Iowa. Like, 4 in New York. 2 in Pennsylvania, 2 in Maryland, 2 in Virginia, 2 in South Carolina, 2 in Georgia, 1 in California for some reason, 2 in Wyoming, and then all of these in Canada, most of them in Quebec, and some in Ontario. But that's where we're getting all of our severe thunderstorm warnings from. Does this still have it? Yeah, it still does. So, I'm still... I don't think that's rotation. But it's definitely something, so I'd still watch out for that. Still just watching these storms. Oh, yeah, we have one in Ohio. Completely forgot about that. For Columbus. No rotation on it, of course, but... Some rain with it. And potentially some winds. Alright, so we're still watching this. It looks like they're gonna let this expire. The rotation is near 0. It's very broad. These storms, though, I'm still watching them for the HRRR scenario. But I don't know if that's going to play out. It might just be... They're not quite condensing into a line right away. Well, maybe they are. That's specifically the northern one. So they might condense into a line soon. I'll see. Let's see if we can get any cameras on this stuff again. This one hasn't updated. No, it still hasn't updated. Well, let me just make sure. Yeah, this is not updating. What about this one? This is a little closer to now. So that's better. That's just like rain or something. I had no idea what that was, but it's just rain. We have one camera on this severe thunderstorm warning, so let's watch it. And is this a video? Yeah, it's a video. So that's cool. So not all of them are just regular picture cameras. Alright, so we have had an extension, and there we go, 70-mile-per-hour winds. So the second severe thunderstorm warning to have 70 miles per hour winds, and there you go. They discontinued that tornado warning. So now we only have severe thunderstorm warnings, which might be the case for a while. We still probably will have occasional tornado warnings. Of course, we do have a 10% risk. However, we are just waiting for this to materialize into full-on MCS and potential derecho. But still, 70-mile-per-hour winds. That's still enough to knock over some trash cans in your neighborhood. Sometimes peel off some of the roof of roof siding. You can see still 70-mile-per-hour winds, and we just got a wind gust report of 63 miles per hour near Manning, Iowa. So that's the beginning of it. This is what will end up moving across the Chicagoland area. So that is the beginning of it. We are waiting. Currently 4:15 Central Time. That time will continue to move on as we see this windstorm develop. Let's see how long I've been streaming for. 40 minutes. We're seeing this possible derecho I meant, develop even now. It is pretty probable that we will have a derecho because of this moderate risk that is currently in effect. Still have these storms in New York. They're continuing, and they're developing into a line, which there's some discrete storms firing up ahead of it, but no rotation on them. I don't expect rotation on them. The environment here isn't necessarily prime. A lot of these severe thunderstorm warnings in Canada were discontinued. So that's good for most areas, but we still have Ottawa in a severe thunderstorm warning, so I would still be aware in Ottawa. Still don't know what this weird signal is. It remains. I mean, that would be in the right area of the storm now. Unless if this is now and not delayed. Well, now it's gone. So I have no idea. I mean, this? I don't know. There is some broad rotation developing with this. And now this is warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds. So all of our storms currently in Iowa are now warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds. And so it begins. Even though, of course, I can't say it begins for much longer, because then it will, already be in progress. But yeah, these storms are continuing to develop, and they might be trying to merge together into a line. There is this one severe thunderstorm warning behind this system in Carroll that has just developed with 70-mile-per-hour winds. So all of these storms in Iowa are warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds, and that's something that we'll continue to see for quite a while ahead. Let's see if we can get any cameras here. Oh wait, no, it's in New York. Near Carroll, Iowa. I mean, this isn't one of the severe thunderstorm warnings, but... This is looking east. This is also looking east. But you can see there's some storm there. Pretty ominous looking storm. That might be the storm that we're looking at. If it's east. That would be north. Let me see if there's a storm north of there. Well, this might be old. Yeah, it's old. It used to be north of there, but now it's not. These are very delayed camera reactions. I keep clicking on New York cameras. Severe thunderstorm warning for Washington, D.C. right now. So be aware if you live in Washington, D.C. Move away from all possible windows and doors. And stay indoors. Stay inside of your house if you live in Washington, D.C. At least for most of it. There is a small area of Washington, D.C. that isn't included. The northeastern part. Or is it just the eastern part? I'm unsure. Oh yeah, we have a few severe thunderstorm warnings in Virginia, Maryland, and then Washington, D.C. Still have this one in Ohio. It's not doing too much. But just watching these cells in Iowa continuing to pick up, it does seem like we are at the onset of this event. Okay, so you're talking about Washington, D.C. Let's see the direction it's heading. That'll be in northern Washington, D.C. So if you live in, like, the northern areas of Washington, D.C., that's where the storm will hit. But the most of the hail will hit just barely in Washington, D.C., near Queens Chapel, Michigan Park, Fort Totten, and then right into Maryland, near Chillum. That's where most of the hail will hit. Most of the wind will hit all along the storm, most likely. Hail is usually where you see the pink colors. But this storm is going to bring 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's not really going to bring much hail, so even if there is a little hail over there in northern D.C. and then into Maryland, it really is not going to be that much. It's mostly going to be the winds. We're going to see 60-mile-per-hour winds in Washington, D.C. So, just prepare as if you're getting 60-mile-per-hour winds. Stay inside and move away from doors and windows. I mean, I would get a camera there. It's not really that big of a storm to where it warrants my attention too much. I mean, if it gets larger, then we'll look at it. Yeah, we're starting to get more and more of these storms. I think this is for the same storm. Well, this is kind of branching out into two storms. You can see one storm is trying to form up here, and one storm is trying to form down here. So that is approaching towards Audubon, Coon Rapids, Bayard, Bagley, Jamaica, Dawson, Yale, Panora, Linden, Guthrie Center, and Exira. The southern one, that is. And the northern one, I don't know if that's heading north. I mean, if this splits, usually what happens in a left-right split for severe thunderstorms, usually the northern one takes a more northerly track, and ends up producing more of the hail. It ends up producing more of the hail. And then the one that moves to the east, the right one, is usually the one that is more of a tornado producer and wind producer. I believe wind producer. And both of them could produce wind, though, of course. You're welcome. You're welcome. I mean, it's pretty broad. Very broad rotation on the storm near Garrison. There's still a tornado possible tag now, so don't let your guard down, but really, it's very broad. It's like very far apart from each other, the two areas of couplet. I mean, we're still just seeing this event just starting, So we still have to wait a little bit before things kick off. But I mean, they're continuing to develop, and we're starting to see more and more of this line start to come together. And it does look like these storms, after all, are just forming straight into a line. So we're mostly just going to see tornadoes in the form of a QLCS threat, which basically means in the form of a line, where they're usually not that strong. There's like a line of storms that usually produces tornadoes, just not very strong. That's what usually occurs in a QLCS setup. We still have a moderate risk in effect for the areas that are listed on the screen: Chicago, Aurora, Rockford, Naperville, Joliet, all the way towards Davenport and Iowa City and Cedar Rapids. Sorry. I have no idea what's going on. Don't ask me. I don't know what's going on next door. You can see some of these severe thunderstorm warnings are now extending deep into Pennsylvania now, towards Williamsport. They're towards Lock Haven. They are now including that area. There is a line beginning to develop of storms. I don't think that that doesn't always mean an increased QLCS tornado threat. Sometimes it does, but in this case, since it's kind of weak, it's not really expected to do those bowing segments, to bow out and such. Back on that Washington, D.C. storm, still 60-mile-per-hour winds with it. The hail threat has completely dissipated. Now we're just looking at wind. And I mean, there's some winds there. Over here, towards Great Falls Crossing, Rose Island, Great Falls, Travela, and then towards Potomac. No, Potomac. You can see there is some storms. I mean, we're still seeing these storms in Iowa kick off. They're still in their beginning stages, and they're continuing to develop into a line. That is the line that will move through Illinois and create those moderate risk conditions. I mean, I'm still looking for more cameras now. This finally updated. Still a few minutes ago. But you can see there is a storm there as of 4:14 p.m. Central Time. It's 18 minutes ago. I might have to leave at 6. I'll see. I don't know. Here, I'll be right back just to make sure. I'm back. So it turns out that I will be available up until around 8. You too. Have a nice day, Jeremy. Now we have a severe thunderstorm warning in Indiana. Definitely everywhere. That isn't really rotation. That's near Homer, Indiana. I mean, not much has changed with these storms. Still 6 severe thunderstorm warnings in Iowa. And is this still tornado possible? Yeah, it still is. All of them are warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds, except for this one, which is just an old warning that will expire soon. But yeah, these storms are continuing to kick off in Iowa. They're moving around the Des Moines area, and they will continue to move towards the east, towards Davenport, and that general region, and we'll be continuing to see the threat materialize as it moves into the Chicagoland area. We do have one camera here, so let's look at it. Still very old views. I mean, it was pretty grainy over there 20 minutes ago. That's 20 minutes ago. I mean, these are still very old views. Let's see. I mean, I don't know if there is any other cameras here. It's near Parkersburg. Is it? What camera was I looking at? Here, let me look. I mean, I still can't find anything. I don't know where everything is. I still don't know what's going on. I still have no idea what's going on next door. Still a storm heading towards Washington, D.C. You can see, I mean, it's trying to develop some sort of hook feature, but that doesn't always mean a tornado, of course. So that could just be, a small little notch. But it's still heading towards Washington, D.C. 60-mile-per-hour winds. I mean, is any rotation increasing here? Not really. Of course, there was earlier, but not anymore. Still have these warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds, which is still notable. Not quite PDS warranted yet. Here, let me get that severe thunderstorm watch back. There it is. It's for all these areas in Iowa. Tornado up to possible. Of course, that isn't that much comparatively, but still possible. There's just not much to say right now. I mean, this did extend. Yes, they did extend this. Now it includes Center Point and Independence, still circling around the Waterloo area. Let me see. No. They're still circling around the Waterloo area, and that is some pretty intense hail approaching towards Independence. Only a hail of a quarter size is being indicated from the NWS. But still, I mean, there could be larger hail approaching towards north of Independence. Otherwise, there's not too much hail. Mostly those damaging winds, 70 miles per hour. Alright, so now a huge mess is developing from all of these severe thunderstorm warnings. Technically, these are individual storms still, but they are being compelled to enter into the line. I mean, these could still try to make a run for tornadoes, but I don't know. It doesn't look like they're doing that so far. It just seems like we're going to have a damaging wind threat today. Maybe some spin-up tornadoes is obvious, but it does seem like things aren't quite to the level, the peak intensity moment yet. Circled area? Of what color? What color is it circled in? You mean yellow? If you mean yellow, yes, that is where the derecho, or the most likely tornado potential will occur. If you're looking at this, if you see that red circle, it's kind of blocked by the severe thunderstorm watch, but if you see that red circle, that's where the derecho will happen. And more specifically, if you see this pink circle, that's where the derecho will happen. And even in this hatched area, you see where those dotted lines are, that's where the derecho will happen. I just don't know what circled area you're talking about, but that's what it means otherwise. Five concurrent viewers again. But, you know, it's just a number. Oh my gosh. My bad. It's not me. It's just my dog. I mean, is this trying to rotate? A little. It's extremely hard to tell. Maybe it is a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see. None of these other storms are really rotating, so that's good. We're only seeing that wind threat materialize. Only 70 mile per hour winds so far. Of course, things may get serious soon, even though one of them was downgraded to 60 mile per hour winds, so that is good news. But we still got those considerable severe thunderstorm warnings right now. You're welcome. You're welcome. I just was unsure if I was doing the right. Oh, for the live coverage, yeah. Yeah, it's the least I could do. I'll keep you updated. I mean, I'll be here to keep you updated throughout this entire event. Well, maybe not the entire event. I have to stop at around 9. Maybe a little earlier. That's around 8 Central Time. Even though that is probably where the event will be at its peak, but that is where I'll have to stop. I might come back, though. We'll see. Anyways, let's check back on our folks in Washington, D.C. This is heading right into Washington, D.C. as we speak. You know, it's kind of shrinking, the storm, a little bit. Yeah, you see, the storm's kind of shrinking a little bit. Which I guess is good news. I don't know what that quite means. Usually storms don't shrink that much, but... We do have this special marine warning for the Potomac River. That is for observed wind. 48 knots expected, which is near 60 miles per hour. Let's see. Let's see when this storm will be done in Iowa. Let me just pull up the model. Next lab forecast. I'm gonna check the HRRR first, and then the NAM. So let's look together. So it'll be done in Iowa. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. For most of Iowa. It'll be done 8 p.m. The strongest winds, that is. Even though there'll still be some storms on the backside of it, but for the most part, it will be 8 p.m. Specifically for the Davenport area, and up the Quad Cities, all the way up towards Dubuque. That's the latest we'll see some storm conditions. If you're looking towards Iowa City, then it's probably closer to 7:30 p.m., maybe 7 p.m. That's generally what we're looking at. Still watching these storms, though, as they materialize. Let me just get my charger. I'll be right back. You're welcome. You're welcome. Tornado warning. Tornado warning for this storm, and it's observed. Damn. That was quick. Oh, jeez. That's in Iowa. So, of course, not all of Iowa has to be aware of this storm. Mostly just this Vinton area, Urbana, just northwest of Cedar Rapids. Because there is a tornado on the ground with this public confirmed tornado. That means this currently is producing a tornado. This isn't the best radar. Let me get to the best radar. And this has some rotation. It's moderately decent. Specifically over there near Urbana. We're currently looking at Urbana. Vinton is mostly past this, but it is in the Vinton-Urbana area, so we still have to be aware. This is approaching towards Interstate 380, Avenue of the Saints. So be aware, this is a tornado on the ground in Iowa. Let me change my title. So you can see that that's the beginning of this tornado threat materializing, too. Of course, it'll be weak tornadoes mostly, but... I guess... Yeah, I mean, some of these storms were able to develop tornadoes. Specifically this storm near Vinton. I mean, maybe this is it. This could be it, right here. That's closer to Vinton. That would make more sense, actually. That's in the more adaptable place on the radar. So that would actually make more sense. I'll have to see. Next scan. Let's see if we can see a debris ball on this one. I mean, it is on the ground, so we don't necessarily need a debris ball. I can't see anything, but... I mean, is that something? Right here? That could be something. I mean, you don't know. This hasn't updated yet, so we're waiting for this to update. I mean, that could be something. This is still a tornado on the ground, probably at this moment. I mean, it might have lifted. We'll see how brief it was later on. But we did have a tornado, at least for a moment, there towards Vinton, Iowa. And is that another area of rotation developing? We might have another area of rotation developing near Vinning and Elberon. That's towards US 30. That might be another area of rotation. Let's see if we can get any cameras in here. Of course, these cameras are not very helpful, but let's see. There is a camera. There's video over here. I mean, it's kind of glitching out a little bit. Yeah, it's glitching. So, I don't know. This is a good view. This is facing north. So, I think eventually we might be able to see the tornado. But that'll be in a little while from now. I mean, the tornado would be on the left side. Because this is looking right here. And that would be looking up here. So in about 10 minutes, we're going to see that tornado intercept. I still don't know what that area of rotation is quite yet. Could either be this or this. Leaning towards this, but it could also be this. It could be two separate areas of rotation for all I know. I don't know. But definitely a tornado that occurred with this storm. I mean, we're still looking at this camera. Let me see if I can find another one. There's one near Urbana, which is the perfect spot, but that camera's glitching out. I mean, I guess a little less. You can see the top of it now. Yeah, I mean, it's periodically going in and out. Okay, well now it's just gone. I don't know, it's not the best camera. That camera isn't working. Is this looking north? That's looking north. I mean, you can see a storm is there. It's kind of hard. Let me zoom into it. That's what it's looking like right now. Don't know if there's a tornado on that, but that is what it's looking like. So that is interesting. Let's see if we can find any cameras in Vinton. Independence is kind of close to this. I mean, this is the view in Independence right now. Not too much. But really, I think the best camera is this thing. I mean, you can see clearly there is a storm over there. Don't see a tornado with... Is that? No. It's extremely hard to tell. But there's some lightning with this, so... Definitely a dangerous storm, for sure. Still could be producing a tornado at the moment. We haven't gotten an update yet if it's off the ground at the moment, but... I mean, there was a tornado on the ground with this, so still be aware if you live in this area and still go to your safe spot. Safe spot, basically, is the room that is most interior in your house. The room that is farthest away from the outside world in your house or some sort of building that is very safe to be in. A building that is sturdy. Basically, you want to make sure, if you were to walk through walls, if you walk through all of the walls, and one of those walls you walked through, and you ended up outside, then the room is not safe, and you should move to a different room, where if you walk through all of those walls, then you would end up in other rooms. Of course, I understand how many people don't know the geography of their house, or the building that they just entered in. However, if you can kind of tell whether it's connected to the outside or not, then you probably should move to a different room. I do need to go in a second, but I won't do that yet because there's currently a tornado warning, so. If it expires, then I will have to go away for a moment because I have to eat dinner. Still got those 5 views coming in. It's still not that much, but it's more than nothing. I mean, we're still seeing this camera, and we're still seeing some signs of possible clouds. I mean, that's what we're looking at. Okay, so this has been updated. It's now down to radar indicated. Still a possible tornado. However, it could drop at any moment. However, we are not certain if it's on the ground anymore. We're not sure if it's on the ground anymore. It could be off. Most likely is off. However, it could produce another one at any moment, and that's why this is still tornado warned. So Vincent is now out of this. Now we just have Urbana, Centerpoint, Alburnett, Walker, and up there towards Troy Mills in that tornado warning. We just have 1 tornado warning in effect, 34 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. However, we still also have these storms that are producing 70-mile-per-hour winds. Some of them are, even though most of them have been downgraded to 60-mile-per-hour winds, except for the storm producing the tornado. The storm producing the tornado is still, or producing the possible tornado, is still producing 70-mile-per-hour winds. So we're still watching that storm. But all the others have weakened enough to where we can say they aren't producing 70-mile-per-hour winds anymore. And those are still the storms that will develop, just they're taking a little break, I guess. Let me see if we do have any storms. I mean, I can't show them, but let me just see. Yeah, we have some. But, you know, that's pretty typical. Is it a big tornado? I don't know. Most likely not. It's very unlikely it is a big tornado. I mean, we don't know. I mean, this is a severe squall line capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight line wind damage, but I don't think there's a strong tornado potential with this. A lot of these storms are unlikely to be strong tornadoes, or large tornadoes, or big tornadoes. That's a little more unlikely, so I don't think it's a big tornado. But it is a tornado. It was a tornado. As soon as this tornado warning expires, I have to eat dinner, but I will be back with the latest information very soon afterwards. Let's check back on these storms in New York. Alright, that severe thunderstorm warning for Washington, D.C. is gone. You don't have to worry about that anymore in Washington, D.C. It is gone. However, we're still watching this area in the severe thunderstorm watch in New York and Pennsylvania, which is still producing some significant winds, 70 mile per hour. And there's a tornado possible tag on the southern edge. And there is some rotation on it. I mean, there's a few areas of rotation. Like right here. Right here. Right here. That's near Williamsport, Pennsylvania. But no tornado on the ground, or no tornado imminent in those areas. Alright, I'm gonna hope nothing crazy happens. I am going to go away for a second just to eat my dinner. But, I'll be watching the storm still. And I'll see what happens, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I am back. And... oh, jeez, so much happened while I was gone. Of course. Anyways, we're looking at these 3 tornado warnings active, 2 in Iowa, and then 1 in Pennsylvania, which is just, yes. This used to have more rotation on it, but it kind of has weakened by now. You can see it was over there near LaPorte and approaching towards Ringdale. This is right in the US 220 area. However, that has weakened by now, so I don't think there's still a tornado on it. And I mean, it was never confirmed, but I mean, still, there was some rotation on it. I'm also watching this storm in Indiana, which could also, a bunch of weird storms in weird places, but that had more rotation on it previously. It's kind of weakened at the moment, so that is some good news over there. We're also looking all the way over here in Iowa still, which is where we expected these storms to pop off, and you can see there is some rotation beginning to develop right over here. And that is in the right area, I believe. I mean, that doesn't seem like side lobe. It seems like real rotation near Urbana. Once again, in the Urbana area. Still in the debris ball. So that is good news. Even though this is observed. This is actually observed. That this was a tornado on the ground. So technically, we shouldn't be so sure. Of course, CC drops doesn't always confirm the tornadoes. Of course, there could be some tornadoes that occur without a CC drop. CC drop just indicates a stronger tornado because basically it's lofting debris far up into the air. So you can see that there is possible tornado with this storm, and it could still be on the ground. We also had a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust over here in Mount Auburn, Iowa. There it begins. I mean, this is the event starting. We're really starting to see the beginning of this event, and it doesn't look like it's going to be these that's going to really cause the main threat. It's going to be these towards the east. And you can see we're still getting some rotations over here near Center Point. You know, that's far inside the storm, so I'm not sure if I can trust that. 3 tornado warnings active right now. Let's see if we can get any cameras. We did have this camera before. Now it isn't very useful. I mean, you can still see the storm a little bit. But let's see if we can see anything else. So is that other tornado warning? This camera still isn't working that well, and plus it doesn't even have a great view, so I don't know why we're still using it. Maybe this? It's looking north. There's south. There we go. This is a video. Don't see that much, just the rainy conditions at the moment. But yeah, we currently have 1 tornado on the ground, 2 other tornado warnings, so that means a tornado could drop at any moment, but hasn't quite yet. And it looks like both of them are going to expire very soon. I mean, you still see some rotation over here and a gust front over here. That can sometimes cause an inflow notch to enter in to the storm when there's a gust front pushing all that air forward. And you can see that here. But there's still some rotation over there near Auburn. I don't know if that's to be trusted, though, because it's so far inside the storm. Yeah, I don't know what to think of that. This is real, though. This definitely is. That is some rotation over there near Urbana. And if we could get a camera right there towards Urbana, that would be appreciated. I mean, all we have is this cam, which really is not helpful. But we can still see some stuff over here. I mean, this is where the tornado would pass, so I still have no idea what that is, but we can see this gust front over here. That is where an inflow notch may develop. Over there towards Hiawatha and heading right into Cedar Rapids. Those are some strong winds. That's the start of an MCS right there. That is definitely causing some strong winds in the Cedar Rapids area. Probably around 70 miles per hour. Let me measure them. You can see up to around 30 meters per second. Let me look up what that is. 30 meters per second. 2 miles per hour. That's 67 miles per hour, so about 70. We're saying about 70 mile per hour winds. Alright, this thing has weakened a little bit, but we're still seeing some rotation over here. I mean, it's a little less than it used to be, but it still is notable. So maybe no longer a tornado on the ground with this, but we might have had one briefly, as confirmed by weather spotters. Alright, so this tornado warning down here has been expired. There's still a gust front in the area, so we still have to watch that for some potential spin-ups. However, we currently aren't seeing a tornado threat with that right now. We might see it later. But this storm, we still are. You can see near Urbana, we still have that tornado threat continuing. And it still remains observed. Merging with this storm right now. Usually mergers prohibit storms from producing tornadoes, so we're hoping that occurs. Sometimes they don't, but it does look like this might cause the tornado with this storm to sort of weaken or deteriorate. Here's the storm moving in. Well, sort of. It's kind of old. Let me see. Oh, this is what this storm is like. Yeah, and that's pretty intense. Pretty intense. You can see it there. There's Hiawatha. You can see a lot of rain over there in that area. I mean, there's still not much to see on this camera. Here is that rotation continuing. It is radar indicated now, so no longer sure that it's on the ground, which is good news. But still, we have some rotation with this, so we still have to watch out for a potential spin-up with the system. Still no debris ball, so that means we still don't have a tornado on the ground with this, but we're still watching for a potential rotation over here, potential tornado over here near Center Point. This is just northwest of Cedar Rapids. Let me get my battery. My charger, I meant. I mean, this camera is kind of stalling. Oh, wait. Just showed for a second. There it is. Some rain. Not seeing too much over here. But there's still some rotation over here. It's right near center point. It continues. And a little bit of rotation over here, but I don't know if that's in the right area of the storm. Let me see. It sort of is. But of course, this rotation, oh, new tornado warning. Cedar Rapids included. Cedar Rapids, get to your safe spot. This is radar indicated. And this is for this area of rotation that has just developed near Marion. Or Marion. I don't think it's this. Could be that, but let me see where it is compared to this one. I mean, it could be that, but most likely they're warning this. Because that's a little bit north of where the tornado warning box mainly is. So yeah, Cedar Rapids, get to your safe spot. That's the farthest away room from any connection to the outside. It is the most interior room of a building, specifically one building that is very structural integrity, very sturdy, and a building that is adapted to a tornado. And usually, if you were to walk through walls in a room, and you were to enter outside, if you walked through any of those walls, then that would not be a safe room, and you would have to move to a room where, if you walk through all of the walls, you would make sure that you would enter into another room when you walk through those walls. In both of these areas, you should be aware of that. But this is heading right towards Marion. So if you live in Marion, do that. This really shows what's to come. It really does. This camera isn't working. I don't. Here, let's look at over here near Marion. I mean, I guess this is where it would be. It would be to the left a little bit. But you can't see too much over here. I mean, maybe a little bit of a shelf or something. It's hard to tell. But yeah, still have a tornado warning in effect. I'm just looking for any cameras that work. I mean, this looks interesting, but I don't think it's anything. I'm starting to think this is the area of rotation they warned. I mean, that really is possible. I mean, considering where these areas of rotation are forming, that really is possible. And really, they should form over here. Alright, then this is observed again. This is observed again. So still a tornado on the ground with this storm at the moment, and you can still see some rotation over here. Just there towards center point. This might be producing multiple tornadoes. I mean, it's all along this line here. Multiple tornadoes, at different times. Could be down here as well, but that's a little bit broader. But yeah, observed tornado. Law enforcement confirmed tornado this time. So that means you have to be in your safe spot over here in Central City, Central Point, Alburnett, Walker, Robbins, Urbana, even though it's outside of Urbana by now, Coggin, and Robinson. This is a tornado on the ground. I mean, it looks like it's this one. It looks like it's this thing. That's what they're warning it for. Or they're warning it for this. But I'm starting to lean towards this. So let's see if we got any cameras over there. I mean, these are just picture cams. But I mean, I can't see much. There's some clouds over there, but I mean, it's a very rainy situation over there, and oh my gosh, look at all those winds. Look at all those winds in the storm in Cedar Rapids. Those are some intense winds. Really goes to show how intense this storm is. And how intense these storms will be. Yeah, you can see the traffic lights are swaying down a little bit. They're swaying a little bit. I mean, those are like around 50-mile-per-hour winds, maybe 60. A lot of lightning strikes, too. Hello once again, Jeremy. Jeez, I have no idea what that stuff is. I don't know what those bright colors are. I don't believe those are power flashes because they're way too close to the camera. Power flashes would be like a bright blue light. Does look like the rotation here has kind of weakened. There's still some, and of course that still produced a tornado in the end, so. This rotation over here is kind of weakening. But it's still there, so I'm still wondering if that's the area of rotation they were talking about. But it could have been this over here, too. Over there towards Marion. I mean, still some strong winds over here. Still some strong winds. Definitely shaking the camera a little bit. 2 tornado. Oh, wait, never mind. We have 3 tornado warnings active for this storm, and it's observed. I completely missed that. I really apologize for that. When was this issued? Oh, okay. Okay, it was just issued. So that at least is, that makes me feel a little better, but doesn't make the people that live in this tornado warning feel better. This is on the ground. Over here near Solon, and McGraw, and Cincinnatus, and Taylor. Let me see if I can get a camera over there. That's near Cortland, along Interstate 81. This camera might work. Yeah, maybe this one. I mean, that's not the best view, but it's still showing something. Yeah, this is looking a little bit west, so. And the closest over here is traveling south. That means we're looking northwest. I mean, I guess that's fine. Storm is kind of past Interstate 81 by now. Now it's moving over here towards Route 41, Route 26. This is on the ground, though, so just be aware in that New York area. Definitely weren't expecting too much to happen today over there, but here we are. Oh, wait, we have 4 tornado warnings active? What's the 4th one? Yeah, wait. We have 3 in Iowa. Oh, we have one over here! For Des Moines! And this is observed! Des Moines, be in your safe spot. It's like the day of tornadoes. Observed tornadoes. Jeez, Des Moines, be in your safe spot. If you live in Des Moines, Iowa, you should be in your safe spot. This is a tornado on the ground. And you can see the rotation over here. It's right here towards Windsor Heights, heading directly into Des Moines. That's not good news. That is not good. If it heads directly into Des Moines, that is not good. But yeah, it's for these storms over here. Still on for 60-mile-per-hour winds. And yes, there's the tornado report over here near Grimes, Iowa. Brief tornado report by Polk's County DPS. So it's over here near Windsor Heights and Des Moines. Over there towards Interstate 235. We definitely have cameras over there, so let me get those. Yeah, 99 plus. So let's look. This is looking east. I mean, that's actually where it would be now. Yeah, it's still right there near Des Moines. Be heads up and aware. Now it's out of the tornado warning. Okay, so that is good. It headed away from Des Moines. Headed this way. It's towards western Des Moines still, though. So just be aware over there in western Des Moines. There's still a tornado likely on the ground. However, it did head farther away from the tornado warning, so I imagine they'll extend that. And it does seem like it is weakening, so that is also good news. But still, we did have a brief tornado over there near Grimes. Okay, they did extend this, and it's a PDS tornado warning! PDS tornado warning! Particularly dangerous situation. PDS tornado warning for Des Moines. Yes, Des Moines. Still looking for any of these cameras over here. Maybe this one? That's looking north. So that would be where the tornado is, but can't see much. If we see power flashes, that means there probably is a tornado over there. But this is a PDS tornado warning at the moment. Let's see if we can see a CC drop. Yeah, there it is. I believe that's it. Right over here. That looks like a CC drop. That's a tornado on the ground. PDS tornado warning for Des Moines. It's heading past Des Moines now, though. So it's mostly areas that are southeast of Des Moines that are in this situation now. Towards Hartford, Carlisle, Runnels, Avon. Those areas should be aware. Of course, I'm not forgetting about these tornado warnings over here. We still have a tornado warning for Cedar Rapids. And you can see some still rotation over here near Mount Vernon. Over here near Alburnett, we're still seeing some rotation, and this still is observed. So we still have to pay attention to this as well. But yeah, these storms really did produce tornadoes as they moved on. As they were in their initial stages. Right there, right near Windsor Heights. There's tree and outbuilding damage. I hate to hear that there's damage with this storm. I hate it. But this is right in Des Moines. Trying to find cameras. And it's just a very rainy situation over here. No tornado. This is the best camera to look at right now, so I'll keep that up. But yeah, this is right in Des Moines. Hopefully it is weakening. It does look like it's weakening a little bit, but it's still there. So just be aware. Go to your safe spot if you live in Des Moines. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Alright, latest scan, it is weakening a little bit. That is good news. It probably was briefer than we expected. So that is good news. It's still there. Right there over Grays Lake, Indianola Hills, South Central DSM, Watrous South, and Somerset. But it does look like it weakened a little bit. You can see that CC drop pretty well now. It's right here. That's the CC drop. It's pretty well to see, and unfortunately that does mean that there is damage. Yeah, it is a populated area. Very unfortunate for the people over there. I'm still watching this camera. Still remains. Even though now it's not loading, I guess it went down. I mean, let's see if we can see anything on this one. Sort of can. Over here, it's a little something. It's looking northwest. It must be rain-wrapped. It looks like it is rain-wrapped. Maybe not. Still a PDS tornado warning at the moment. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous situation. Still right there near Indianola Hills, the neighborhood over there, Pioneer Park. It's about to cross US Route 69. Southeast 14th Street. That's what it's called. Currently, it's right over Park Avenue. Over there towards its junction with 9th Street. And it's about to head over there towards 14th Street. Still remains a PDS tornado warning. It's radar confirmed. Alright, it's a little hard to tell now, Because there's this weird thing in the radar that's kind of glitching this system out. But good news, it is radar indicated now. No longer a CC drop or anything as such. It's now just radar indicated, so that's good. Now I can change my title back. Yeah, PDS tornado warning. It's a particularly dangerous situation. But let me change this title. And hopefully you're okay in Des Moines. I mean, if you don't live in that area, it's mostly southwestern Des Moines. You must live in another area of Des Moines, so that's why. I wouldn't really say that. Don't rate it, but whatever. It's nothing I can do to stop you. Sometimes they have warned PDS warnings on storms that are less than EF2. So, that's what I'm saying here. Of course, this could be just rated EF1, but we don't know. We don't know. It's okay. I know you're just trying. I'm not mad at you or anything. Sorry about that. I mean, you're saying some stuff over here. It's interesting, to say the least. This is no longer confirmed now. Over here near Cedar Rapids, not seeing too much over there. Yeah, and this storm really did weaken. You can see the rotation is barely there. It's right there near the Easter Lake area and Somerset, but it really has weakened. So that is great news. But still went right through southwestern Des Moines, which is not good. Of course, it weakened right as I entered out of the city. But still watching these storms in Cedar Rapids, too, because these could produce a tornado soon, too. This storm is just radar indicated. I think they're going to let it expire. The rotation is barely there. You can still see a little bit of rotation over here, near Mount Vernon and Martell. Let's see if we can get a view on that. I mean, not too much to see on this. It's a little old, but still there. Radar indicated tornado. This is also radar indicated. Let's go back in New York. Still do have that tornado warning in effect. It was extended, it seems like. It is only radar indicated right now. Probably wouldn't have been warned if it wasn't previously observed. Don't see the rotation on it. It's really hard to see with the system. It's probably in here somewhere, but just be aware in Norwich, North Norwich, Sherburne, Plymouth, Preston, Pharsalia, Pitcher, Lincoln, Otsalic, Smyrna. Still could be a tornado with that, eventually. 4 tornado warnings in effect. And none of them are confirmed. None of them. But yeah, this is where we're going to start seeing that Derecho. And we have it, everyone. We have the PDS severe thunderstorm warnings pouring in. 90-mile-per-hour winds for Dubuque. 90-mile-per-hour winds for Dubuque. Let me change my title again. Pleasant Hill. Yeah, Pleasant Hill is right near Des Moines. But yeah, this is the beginning of the derecho. Or potential derecho. I keep saying that. 90-mile-per-hour winds for Dubuque. My gosh. 90-mile-per-hour winds. Let me change my title again. Insane. And there is a tornado possible tag on this, which means a tornado could develop. So be close to your... Actually, no. Be in your safe spots. This is 90-mile-per-hour winds. That's enough to be an EF1 tornado. It's not an EF1 tornado, of course, because these are just damaging winds. These are just the gusts you can get with a thunderstorm. Not quite tornadoes, but still, it's pretty intense. And it's heading right there towards Clinton, DeWitt. Not quite in there yet. Currently right there in Monticello, Enamosa, Martell, Mount Vernon, Monticello, I said that already, Cascade, Epworth, Centralia, Worthington, Richardsville, New Vienna, all of those places. Don't know why the bit rate's low. Don't know why that is. Let's see if we can get some cameras of this event. It's really hard to see anything. Not really. Oh, I mean, you can see there were some pretty strong winds over here. It's just kind of hard to tell much of what's happening. I mean, we'll see if anything happens over here. There are some trees in the area, so that will be a good metric to determine the winds. I mean, let's measure these. Let's measure these over here. That's up to 38 meters per second. Let's see what that is in miles per hour. 38 meters per second to miles per hour. That's 85 miles per hour. So up to 90 mile per hour winds currently. I mean, not too much to see over here, but just trust me, there's 90 mile per hour winds with the storm. 80, 90. Southern side, more like 80 miles per hour. Northern side, near Dubuque, more like 90 miles per hour. We still do have these tornado warnings in effect. I mean, they're less concerning than the 90 mile per hour winds that we're currently seeing, but we still do have them in effect, and we could see more tornadoes as time moves on with those Boeing segments of the line. But currently our main concern, 90 mile per hour winds for Dubuque, and 80 mile per hour winds for areas south of Dubuque. And I mean, still some areas where we could get some rotation. That's side lobe over there, but that's still an area that we could watch. don't know why this isn't working. Still 90-mile-per-hour winds for Dubuque. It's heading right into that area. It's gonna be there in just a moment. Trust me. See those cameras in Dubuque? Still not seeing much yet, but I bet you they're going to see it soon. I mean, you're gonna see those winds coming soon, so we're still gonna keep this up, but yeah, that's right in Dubuque. Dubuque is where all these winds are going to be. So be aware in Dubuque that you have to be in your safe spot. It's where you have to be. Still a destructive storm at this moment. Still around 85 miles per hour winds. It's heading right for Galena. Galena, Illinois, too. Illinois is starting to get into some of this action, too. It's not just Iowa. I have no idea what's going on here. That is a very weird pattern. I think this camera's got a little something off with it. That's better. I don't know what happened. It does look like these tornado warnings are going to expire, though. We just have to worry about these 90-mile-per-hour winds currently. Alright. Be right back. I'm back. Still saying 90-mile-per-hour winds with the storm. Still remains to be 90-mile-per-hour winds. Tornado warnings are likely, and we have another tornado warning. Over here, all the way near Atlantic. That is radar indicated. I don't know where the rotation is, though. Maybe on this radar? Yeah, I have no idea where that is. Maybe they got a funnel report. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't know what they're looking at over there, but alright, 70-mile-per-hour winds now for areas east of Des Moines. So all of this line is now becoming stronger. All of this line really is starting to strengthen. And that is what we were expecting. That is definitely what we were expecting. We were expecting 90-mile-per-hour winds to already be a concern by now. And still some tornadoes may be a concern. Iowa City now under a severe thunderstorm warning. 70-mile-per-hour winds with that storm. So for Iowa City, Sigourney, Washington, and Marengo, 70-mile-per-hour winds. Intense setup over here. Well, weak tornado, yes. 90-mile-per-hour winds is equivalent to being hit by a weak tornado. Not a strong one, but a weak one. So yeah, I guess you're right. If you live in Iowa City, just be aware of 70-mile-per-hour winds are your way. And that's technically the equivalent of a weak tornado, but very little tornadoes actually are that weak. Still 90-mile-per-hour winds for Dubuque. And this still remains. Right now, it's near Bernard. Bernard needs to be in their safe spot. There's up to 90-mile-per-hour winds, up to like 87 mile per hour. It's like 87 miles per hour. It's like 87 miles per hour winds for Bernard. So be aware. Is this rotation beginning to develop? Near Mechanicsville, this starting to develop. I don't know. It hasn't caught up with the radar yet. You can see we do get these sometimes prefrontal storms. They sometimes can produce tornadoes, so we have to watch out for those. I'm not saying they will, but it is always possible. And sometimes the line itself, of course, with these surging gust fronts. Alright, those winds are heading right into Dubuque now. Let's look at Dubuque. I mean, those are some pretty intense winds. Those are some pretty intense winds that we're seeing. I think they're like 50 mile per hour? Maybe 60? Of course, the bulk of this storm still hasn't moved into Dubuque yet, so we still have yet to see the main damage. But 90 mile per hour winds with the storm. Insane. There is an area of rotation beginning to develop right here, north of Olin. Or Olin. Near Center Junction. I am beginning to notice that now, and that's right in the area where we would expect. That's an area of rotation beginning to develop. Just north of Olin. It's heading right towards Wyoming, so be aware, there could be a possible tornado with that. Over there towards Monmouth, too, in Oxford Junction. There could also be a tornado threat with that. Still watching these 90-mile-per-hour winds in Dubuque. They're heading right into the area. Thankfully, it's going to miss the main downtown. The main windbag is over here towards Bernard. And there towards Zwingle, St. Donatus, La Model, Piosta, Centralia. That's where the winds mainly are going to be, on the southern side of Dubuque. But we also see some winds over here near Bertram, Mount Vernon, Anamosa, Mechanicsville, Stanwood, and there towards Olin, right where that possible tornado was developing. That really is developing. Let me see it on reflectivity. Yeah, that really is developing. I wouldn't be surprised if they slapped a tornado warning on that. That really looks concerning. We currently have 2 tornado warnings active. It's this one, and then the one in New York, I presume. Yeah. It's heading towards Utica. And I mean, there's some rotation on that, but really the main concern is Iowa right now. But yeah, we are beginning to see that rotation develop near Wyoming. That means we'll probably get winds even farther than 90 miles per hour over there. You know, in this area, we're more expecting 80-mile-per-hour winds. Alright, those 90-mile-per-hour winds are now heading into Dubuque, and it did strengthen a little bit as it went into Dubuque, so let's watch this camera. Really hard to tell what's going on, because it's paused. Oh, wow. Those are some intense winds. I mean, it's kind of hard to see on this camera, but the camera is shaking. And the cars are beginning to move slower, too. These probably are pretty intense winds moving into Dubuque. I mean, that's pretty easy to see. You can see some trees sort of in the background. That's up to 60 miles per hour. I think so. So we could be seeing 60 mile per hour winds here. I am surprised they haven't tornado warned this yet. This is pretty obviously trying to develop something. Yeah, that is definitely trying to develop something. Let me see if there's a CC drop on it. Not yet. Not yet. But I want to keep your guard down. I mean, that could be a CC drop right there. Not yet. It's just strong rotation at the moment. Strong rotation at the moment. I am surprised that they haven't warned this yet. It's just, I guess they're managing with the 90 mile per hour winds right now. And I mean, those are destructive too, don't get me wrong. They might be even stronger than this tornado, so we'll see. Or, you know, potential tornado. Still 70 mile per hour winds over here. 80 miles per hour winds over here. 90 miles per hour over here. That's the geography of where these winds are. Sorry about that. Oh, let's see what happened now. Okay, so that was eventually tornado warned. But now it's weakened. It's just fader indicated. So, yeah, I mean, we still have those 90-mile-per-hour winds currently. That's all we're seeing, but really, that's a lot. So, doesn't matter if that's all we're seeing. I mean, this is for Dubuque. So it is still a concern. 90-mile-per-hour winds. Man, look at this. Still some intense winds there, and maybe some rain flooding the road away. It's mostly to past Dubuque now, so that is good news. But, really, I mean, they experienced quite a bit. These areas are now just entering the 10% now, tornado risk. So we're gonna see a lot more tornado potential as these storms continue to move through. Let's see if this ever had a CC drop. It could have. It's a little hard to tell, though. Yeah, it's a little hard to tell, but it does seem like that rotation kind of weakened. That is good news. Still watching all along this line, though, for those potential spin-ups. But currently, we just have 90-mile-per-hour winds tearing across this area. This has been extended. Still 90-mile-per-hour winds now for Freeport. Freeport to Illinois. You now need to be in your safe spot, as 90-mile-per-hour winds are coming for you. Also there towards Pleasant Valley, Stockton, Mount Carroll, Lanark, Shannon, Brookville, Kent, Lena, Nora, Hanover, Elizabeth, Bellevue, Guilford, Scales Mound, Rice, and Menominee. Still need to be in your safe spot. This is a 90-mile-per-hour windstorm heading your way. And now for Davenport, 70-mile-per-hour winds, Davenport. Davenport is now in 70-mile-per-hour wind warning. Of course, that isn't as much as these storms above it, but still notable. Still could cause lots of power outages, especially up here near Freeport. It's an intense new tornado warning over here in Wisconsin. You can see some rotation beginning to develop over here near Benton. That is in the right part of the storm, right here, towards that surging gust front. There's a few areas that are beginning to develop. There's one right here. There's one right here. There's one especially right here. I think that's the one they warned for. It seems like the one they warned for, right here. So there's a new tornado warning in Wisconsin. And we still probably have one in New York. Yeah, we still do. It's for Brookfield, Sangerfield, or Sconning Falls. Still ain't indicated. Of course, that's not a main concern at the moment. Just these two tornado warnings in Iowa, Wisconsin, and 90-mile-per-hour winds. Let me change my title again. Radar indicator warning still here. Near Sholsburg, New Diggings, Benton, Cuba City, Elk Grove, Hazel Green. It continues. Let's see if we can get some cameras over here. Wisconsin. No cameras over here. Illinois. Do have one over here. So let's see that. Yeah, that isn't working. What about this one? Trying to look for cameras over here. Use this app. Don't see any cameras. So definitely still something. All along this river, is those flooding warnings? Guess those are. Yeah, flood warnings. All along the river. Mississippi River. I'm gonna believe so. I don't know what else those could be. Alright, so this is kind of strengthening a little bit. Over here near New Diggings and Benton. There, you definitely have to be in your safe spot. This is beginning to strengthen. The top of this line. The northernmost point of this line. Still is there. Weakened a little bit, but still is there. Still have no idea if that's a CC drop. It probably isn't. But we're still looking near Sholsburg and Benton. For possible tornadoes. Starting to get a lot of big winds over here now. South of this area. Now we're starting to get them towards Lost Nation, Oxford Junction, Toronto, Monmouth, and Maquoketa. Some strong winds over here. Up to 35 meters per second, which is around 80 miles per hour. So, this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. That is for 80 miles per hour because of that. Still 70 miles per hour in effect for Davenport. Yeah, still seeing this rotation over here, though, near Sholsburg. It continues. But of course, we're still watching these 90 mile per hour winds that continue towards Freeport. Currently, they're heading right into Galena. Right into Galena. Or Jolena. I'm trying to look for cameras. And that's what I'm seeing over there. Some Dubuque. No cameras in the Freeport area, but we know that there's probably 90 mile per hour winds with that. does look like this rotation weakened. Yeah, it did weaken. It might have just been side lobe all along. I'm unsure. But whatever it was, it weakened. So, we're still seeing this tornado warning right now. But it does look like whatever it was, it weakened. I mean, these are what the QLCS tornadoes are like. They're very, very brief. And look at all these warnings now, extending across the whole field of the Mississippi River Valley. See over here near Oskaloosa, Washington, Iowa City, Sigourney, 70-mile-per-hour winds continuing over there. Right where that storm that produced the tornadoes in Des Moines is. Still a significant threat with these severe thunderstorms at the moment. Does look like whatever this was has dramatically weakened. I mean, it's still there. You can see it a little bit here as it moves into shot, but it really is not that big. So I think they're going to let this tornado warning expire. I mean, that's how brief they are. Or something else pops up. And over here, too, we kind of saw... I mean, it's still there. Still looking a little bit in that area, but... Otherwise, I mean... These tornado warnings aren't the main concern at the moment. It's really the 90-mile-per-hour winds. New tornado warning! This is sort of a blanket tornado warning that covers all of these areas over here, as possible rotations could develop all the way over here near Stockton, Elizabeth, Woodbine, Hanover, Pleasant, Philly, Lauren, Kent, Shannon, Lena, Skills Mount, Guilford, Nora, Winslow, and Oneko. And you can see there is some areas that are trying to take advantage of this, like over here. You can see some rotations trying to develop right here. And then down here, you can see a few areas of rotation trying to develop. So that's probably what they warned it for. Of course, it is more of a blanket tornado warning. I don't see any specific areas of rotation that warrant definitely a tornado warning. However, this is a concern for possible areas of rotation to develop in this line. Of course, it probably says straight line damaging winds. Yes, keep severe thunderstorms capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight-line wind damage were located along a line extending from Scales Mound to Whitten, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So, that is definitely what we're going to see with this storm. 90-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a possible tornado threat. Even though it does look like the winds have weakened a little bit, or at least lowered their coverage. They're in a less prominent area. Now they're only heading toward Guilford. So Guilford is really the only area that are in these intense pack of winds. It does seem like these winds have weakened a little bit, but still warned for 90-mile-per-hour winds, so it'd still be on your guard. And these are still 80-mile-per-hour winds, heading towards Maquoketa. Still don't know how to pronounce that. Oh my gosh, wait. 46 meters per second. I believe that's just where that is. So I don't believe that's to be trusted. I believe the highest is just like 80 miles per hour, which is what we're expecting. do have some cameras over here. DeWitt. Not over here. That isn't working. If when this heads into the Chicago area, then we're probably going to see more. But I think I am going to end this soon, just because I have to go away for a moment. I mean, these are still concerning winds, so I probably won't end. But I know 90-mile-per-hour winds is a little more boring than tornadoes. But really, you still have to be in your safe spot for them, because they're like tornadoes. I mean, they cause similar damage to tornadoes. I mean, just remember that derecho where that happened in Iowa. It's not anything like that this time around, but it's still a concerning event. So realize that stuff like that can occur. It's definitely not as interesting as tornadoes, but whatever. You still have to get into your safe spot. I mean. So now 80 miles per hour winds over here from Morrison, Sterling, Prophetstown, Linden, Fenton, Erie, Hillsdale, Tampico, Hahnemann, Deer Grove, New Bedford, Hillsdale, I think I already said that, Princeton, Eldridge, DeWitt, McCausland, Lowmet, Moore, and Comanche, Clinton. Clinton is definitely a big place here. Those are for 80 mile per hour winds. We have 80 miles per hour winds with the storm. Still intense setup over here. But 90 mile per hour winds are more concerning. However, we still have 80 mile per hour winds over here. So still be aware in that area. All of this is radar indicated. So no confirmed tornadoes on the ground. But if we do get any of those prefrontals that develop, then we'll be talking problems. Does not look like that's going to occur, though. Per the models, that is very unlikely. This is just typical derecho setup, even if it doesn't become a derecho, but it seems likely. 90 mile per hour winds. Yeah, this is all heading into Clinton. 80 mile per hour winds. It's all heading into that area, and Davenport is under 70 mile per hour winds. This is heading right for the Chicago area. So be aware if you live in Chicago. This is heading towards you soon. Very soon indeed. This is all heading out of Iowa soon. So Iowa's threat is going to be over fairly soon. You're still going to see some of the winds on the backside of this. But for the most part, we are going to leave Iowa's threat. Then it's going to move into Illinois. And that's where we're concerned for. Because the winds might get even stronger there. But still, 90 mile per hour winds, that's no joke. It's still quite a bit at the moment. And it's all we need to cause some power outages. We got 50 mile per hour winds report over there. Some wind damage reports over there in Lorraine, Stockton, Hanover. We got that 70 mile per hour, 75 mile per hour wind report in Cedar Rapids. That was earlier today, apparently. What was that, like 1 p.m.? Which, I don't remember any storms moving through that caused that, but I don't know. Alright, you're kind of seeing a little bit of an area of rotation beginning to develop over there near Mequoketa. That is beginning to develop. I did just notice that near Delmar. Here, I can't really see. I mean, is that matching up? Yeah, that's matching up. We might get another area of rotation developing. And that could produce a tornado. Could. You can see there's a few little areas of rotation aiming to develop in this area. Over there near Woodbine, Stockton. Been live for 3 hours. 3 hours. But I think we're gonna end soon. Simply just because I have to do stuff. And while this tornado threat will continue, if there is a PDS tornado warning or something as such, I will be back. Of course, if there is 100-mile-per-hour winds, then I'll be back. Still 90-mile-per-hour winds at the moment, though. And that still is enough to concern me. But yes. These are from yesterday. The wind damage reports over there are from yesterday, so not really much wind damage reports yet today. That tornado warning over there is gone. So, I think we just have these three. Yeah, we just have these 3 tornado warnings currently in effect. It does look like this weakened. It tried to form an area of rotation for a moment, but it does look like it has weakened now, so that is good news. Does look like it has weakened a little bit, but we can still see these areas of rotation trying to develop along this line near Elizabeth Woodbine and Stockton. Just be aware in that area. Be aware that tornadoes might be possible, as long with those 90-mile-per-hour winds. I think I am gonna leave soon, like I said. But let me just wait until these areas of rotation settle down. I mean, it doesn't look like they're settling down. They're getting stronger over here near Woodbine, heading towards Stockton. That is where we're expecting some storms to develop, so we are seeing a possible tornado try to develop near Stockton. It's heading right in that area. And that could be the rumblings of a CC drop, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you yet. But we'll have to wait until the next scan to make sure. Still at the 70-mile-per-hour winds heading into Davenport, heading all the way down there towards Washington and Ottumwa. They still remain along this entire line that has developed. You can see it in motion here. That is the line. A few storms are trying to develop in front of this near Antioch around Lake Beach, but they're not that strong, so I wouldn't really call out a tornado threat with those. Where did my radars go? I have no idea what's going on next door. Don't ask me. Yeah, we still have this here. I don't think there's a new scan yet, so... Let's see if we can get some cameras over here. Don't know why the cameras aren't working. I have to zoom in to see the cameras. This is annoying. This kinda did weaken. You can see it's kind of weakening. So that's good news. It's a weakening storm. You can see the winds are now transferring down here. Towards DeWitt and Sterling. Rather than up here. Which would actually be good for the Chicago area. Because it wouldn't go directly for the downtown. Rather for the southern area. But that's all for now. I will be back later, probably, if we do get 100-mile-per-hour winds or a PDS tornado warning or such. But otherwise, I feel like that's the end of the coverage I need to control. I will be back likely later, but I think that's going to be it for me. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications. If you don't know what the notifications look like, it's the bell icon right next to the subscribe button. Also, make sure to like this video. I don't care if you dislike. If you really didn't like this video, fine, dislike. But anyways, guys, isn't it just so difficult to find the correct road to be on? It's so hard to find what is right for you. But then you come across the Morris data on the road freeway. Goodbye, guys.